How do you feel to be the first ever player to be selected for the Madrid Bravos?
Well, I mean, it's incredible, right? I feel a lot of pride. I don't know if it makes sense for me to be the first ever, but I do take a real pride in Madrid, right? In my city, my community. So I'm very glad, you know. And as you say, the project makes sense, right? And
Yeah,
it was long due. So so here we are now. Uh, Obviously, the starts, you know, they're always tricky. They're always complicated.
yeah,
You know, you need to get on the field and get to know your teammates a lot. So that's why probably the all the new teams are struggling a little bit in the first year, right? I think the good thing that we have going for us is that we have a lot of experience in the team, a lot of experience in this particular league, top players all around Europe, and I think we do have the talent, right? So it's a matter of time that we get rolling. Um, we're going to give our best to get ready for all the games and compete and win the games, right? Makes no sense for us to go out there and not expect to win.
okay. You're gonna face Frankfurt, right? What do you think about that? The first word that came to your mind.
Oh, consistent. I believe,
Okay,
yeah, I believe Frankfurt is a consistent team. Like they always, you know, they're always doing stuff right. That's crazy. The guys, and
yeah.
yeah,
And now they have Markel Castle, so this is gonna be really really difficult.
I'll tell you what, it's
Drying
one of
fire.
the oh, the Rimfire. Oh yeah. Um, well, offense. That's the
Offense.
first word I can think of. Yeah, amazing offense.
Okay, Hamburg.
Big,
Okay, Paris.
intense.
Intense. Okay, okay. Whew, the last two. Cologne.
Uh, friends. I would say friends as the first.
France.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be like emotional for you.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I love Cologne, love the team. They, you know, they're taking care of me. It's a great organization, and yeah, I do have a lot of friends there. So yeah, it's going to be, I don't know if emotional, but it'll be nice to go back there.
Okay, then Barcelona.
Now that's a tricky one. You say one word.
Yeah,
Um, Classic.
classic. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So people can expect that they're gonna have like they're gonna build up the same rivalry that they have in basketball and they have in soccer.
hmm I mean, it's no expectation. It is what it is, right? Like it's always happened in all sports, soccer,
Yeah,
basketball, like well, you name it, right? Um, I feel like it's a very healthy rivalry because it
yeah.
brings the best out of Madrid and Barcelona, and it allows us to perfect our craft to a certain extent. So
Okay.
I'm really excited for that game, to be honest.
Before like the announcement of the name of the team and the logo and the helmet and so on, you have a lot of coverage from Marca, from us, and from all the Spanish media. Do you think that it's going to keep up during the season, or what do you need to do to bring all the attention to you
Well,
guys?
I think, well, first of all, we have an amazing, amazing team behind us, right? Nacho Pinilla, Santiago Juste. These guys are amazing in what they do, right? And they're also very used to working with um, top notch media, sites and press. So I believe that it's been done right since the beginning, and I believe that it's been building up some excitement around it. I believe that
Yeah,
once we get on the field and people start seeing what it means to be a Bravo, then it will only go up, right? Because it
yeah,
will bring a lot of interest and attention, and especially the way we're setting it up. We play for Madrid. We're proud of our city,
yeah,
right? And we expect everyone to be right, and we expect everyone to keep us honest on the field and not give up and keep going,
yeah,
right? and that's a chemistry and an energy that it always spreads around and builds up, right? So yeah, I'm excited for that too.
For you, which is gonna be the most difficult game to face as QB1 in Prague, because you're gonna face Hamburg,
Mhm.
Berlin, Munich, Vienna, Wroclaw, the Troners, and yep, and that's it. And that's it.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why I wanted to go to the European League of Football. I
Okay.
mean, you just mentioned all those teams, and they're phenomenal teams with phenomenal players and a great coaching staff that they set their own standards. And you watch it from afar, being in the German football league, and you see like the product that's out there for the European League of Football, and you just get more and more motivated to be a part of that. And we're going to take it one game at a time. Obviously our schedule speaks for itself, but we like who we have here. And again, if we can work on just being a part of a team collectively, I think the score will take care of itself in the end.
And knowing the media, know the way you need to prepare yourself to work in media, does that give you an extra advantage to learn or to study different your rivals?
Yeah, definitely. Like when I was in the NFL Network, you're studying you're studying football different. You're preparing in a different way.
Yeah.
It's more of like it's a lot more detailed than you are as a player. Where I think that after working at the NFL, like you're my my days were crazy. So I would wake up real early and then work from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and you're introducing more of like a creativity. So, and being able to like do those music videos and everything in the production side, but still like you're looking at the rundown, you're looking at different B-rolls and all right, what bumps to include here, what that shot is and what that toss is going to here. Why are we tossing it from Jesse Palmer to James Palmer to Slater to in Dallas, and all of a sudden having a music video here that leads up to Dak, like a Dak topic and everything. So seeing those details and everything, it forced me to be more detailed in my preparation, and like studying it as almost as if it's a rundown. You have the creative ideas in the beginning of the week, and then you implement that in practice, which was more of like producing the content that we had for the show. And then we had that last day where we're cleaning up everything, and then it's show day. So and the craziest thing about TV was the show never went like perfect. Like it was just, the time was never like, Andy would always be very detailed about the time, but it's like, all right, like it's going to go over. Now we had to take out a music video, but you don't want to take out a music video because it's so good. So switching it over here. So it showed me like how quick you have to pivot. And I think that helped me definitely going into last year, because, we had a lot of adversity at New Yorker. I basically was the offensive coordinator for the last half of the season. So having to call plays and prepare for a game, I don't think I would be able to do that if I didn't experience all that at the NFL Network.
I'm gonna say some words, but you need to say the first thing that come up to your head. Okay.
Okay.
Deion Sanders.
Prime time.
Okay. Lions.
Lions pride.
Okay. ELF.
ELF growth.
Okay. Storytelling.
Life.
Okay. Carre.
Smile.
Okay. Your dad.
Mentor.
Okay. And you're gonna reunite it with a former teammate, Luke Sadarka.
Yeah.
Luke Saratka, if I pronounce
Yeah.
it correctly. You know him from Milan. So how do you feel about this?
I mean, between me and him, we both know we had some unfinished business. You know, we did play in when I was in Milano, and we came up short in the championship game. I actually got hurt that first drive in the championship game, and we wound up losing, I think, like 21-17. Went undefeated the whole season. Got to the championship game. I had a, unfortunate injury, which was by far my first injury when I couldn't physically play, like at all. Like I had, little injuries, little ankle twists here and there, but that was the first injury I ever had in my whole career that I couldn't actually like play on without damaging it even more. And that kind of scarred me, man. Been sitting out that championship game, and I try to make a comeback, but it's hard to play receiver with one arm,
Yeah,
so
yeah, of course.
so yeah, man, I feel like it was the right move. And to be paired with him again, I feel like just be like old times.
For you, do you see yourself as a coach for young players? Not, I mean, probably not only in North Carolina where you're living right now, or probably here in Germany as well.
I can see myself as a coach. I do like coaching and stuff like that, but at the same time, I feel like I can manage my own organization. I feel like taking what I learned and being coached by different coaches and being around different organizations, I think I can run my own program efficiently and hire the coaches I think that have similar vision to what I'm trying to accomplish. So I think I see myself in more of the management role instead of coaching. I do like coaching, but I feel like management and hiring the coaches that I want to,
Yeah.
I think that's more so my type role.
For you, which player was like said, I need to have this player in my team?
Out of like, it's okay. I'm a general manager in Europe, right?
Yeah.
General Europe, as you can say. Wow, man. If I can say, and I'm an offensive minded guy,
Yeah.
and I can surround. If I can start my franchise, wow, that's tough. I think I would do what any other coach would do. I think I'll start in the trenches.
Okay.
I think I start in the trenches, whether defense, if it's a defensive end or offensive tackle. I think I start on my line first.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
I think Madrid did that as well. I think their first pick was offensive tackle.
Yeah, Carlos Carrasco. Yeah.
Yeah, but God, man, it's tough because it just I feel like if you don't have a line, it's hard to. You can have the most skilled player in the world,
Yeah.
but if you can't fall off,
Yeah, of course, of course.
But
And
I had to start offense, a tackle, and then second, obviously, to me, it would be a QB,
yeah,
and then it'd be my skill guy. And I'm a
Okay.
skill, but I understand the
Yeah.
game as well. But yeah, I think that's how the rotation.
How do you start in the American football? What was your inspiration?
How did I get started? That was years and years back. It started with youth football in a small town called Seinäjoki in Finland. That's where I fell in love with football. I was about 12, 13 years old. And it started from there, playing myself first, juniors and women's, and then later on getting into coaching. So just being around the sport, having that little experience of playing, I absolutely just fell in love with it. This is a long-standing organization. It's been in operation for 40 years. The Vienna Vikings brand is very, very well known, and the quality of football played in Vienna in the Vikings team. And then when the ELF came around and the Vikings just separated into their own entity in the ELF, with the Austrian league still operating, juniors still operating, that helped us a lot because we already had talent we could pull from the Vikings organization into the ELF team, the coaches, the facilities, and the fans. So that was a huge, huge thing for the Vikings to be successful. because when these franchises just kind of have to pop out of nowhere, it's a lot harder for them because they don't have that history that the Vikings fortunately have.
For you, what was the most difficult part as a woman to start and to work in a environment that traditionally has been like dominated by men?
Gaining their respect, and I'm not talking about players. I'm mostly talking about other coaches because they feel like their space is being crouched by women. It's weird because they have to kind of change the way they speak or act around each other, which I never want that. I tell the dirtiest jokes at times too, so I don't need that. But I feel like male coaches have often, especially in the US, they feel like we don't belong. It's easier to get the respect of the players.
Yeah.
You just have to show that you know what you're doing, and they'll follow you around. But it is tough because most places I've gone to in my career, like Nebraska or Rice, I was the first female coach on the staff, and they had never experienced it before. So now I'm doing proactive work, doing a lot of youth camps and youth activations in Finland, hoping to do some here in Vienna, where we can teach for kids from a young age that their coach can also be a female. So they're used to it. Because I know it can come as a shock, like, in a room full of testosterone, you're all 20 years old, and then a female coach walks in. Like, I get it. If you've never seen it, you're going to be kind of, what is this about?
What was the best advice someone gave to you and that you can share to us?
Ooh, this is actually the motto that I learned while I was at the Detroit Lions. My boss used to say this all the time, and it was, it's never about the role, always about the goal. And it literally means we are all there to do the same job, win a championship. So whatever you got to do for it, you will. Our head coach here is one of the first people to start picking up cones. It's not about his role. It's about our common goal of getting where we need to be. So you just pitch in, do whatever you can.
Nice. And how you say, okay, you know what? I can bring this to this team to make him win some games.
Well, going in, I don't think it's the same. Like, it was the atmosphere of a losing team, because Coach Jordan and Coach Brenner, Coach Pastorino, they had a perfect record in the GFL.
Yeah.
I think they lost I don't think they lost any games that were not German Bowls, and they won more often than not. So they brought a lot of players in from Schwäbisch Hall, myself included. So I would say that it was just a winning culture already there from the start. From the very beginning, we all felt that we would do something in this league. Like, the goal was to win it. We never thought, oh, Stuttgart Surge, they've been terrible this past few years. Like, I don't know. It was just never, because we weren't there, and I knew a couple of the guys, and I won a championship with them. So all I knew was, these guys know how to win. We're here to win it.
For you, what was the most rewarding thing to play this season with the Stuttgart Surge?
The most rewarding thing, I would say, I met a lot of really good friends. I loved the team that was there. The coaches always told us that they were looking to bring in a certain kind of people that would fit what they were trying to just like induce in this team, having no one that's selfish or just like a locker room cancer, how they call them. Just everybody there was just like a family, and especially even closer as the defensive backs. I'm happy to call most every single one of these guys that I played with, corner and safety, like my friends, and it just gives you a really nice feel of just even at a high level, still just playing football, doing what you love with your friends. And as far as what I can bring to the team, this year I was more on as a rookie, as the youngest player on the team, and I was just there mostly to practice. I mean, make the most of the opportunities that I got, but I knew I'm not on a lead role yet. And I just hope I can continue to grow, continue to increase my role, just learn from my teammates, learn from my coaches, and just do the best that I can whenever my number is called upon.
Everyone know you from last year's Hamburg Sea Devil. Everyone knows in the LF like the threat that you've been in the backfield, right? But how much does that Glenn change from Hamburg to this year's Glenn in Rhine?
It was a little different. So I feel like this year took a little bit of adjusting, obviously because I joined the team late. So I had to figure out my role in the team. I feel like last year my role in the team was kind of obvious. So this year, having so many good players around me, having so many good coaches around me, I kind of had to figure out my role and just be ready to do my part to win the championship. So I feel like at the start of the season, it was a lot of like figuring out my role, building chemistry with the guys. Because again, because I came late, a lot of that chemistry gets built up in the preseason, I think. And because I missed a lot of that, it just took a bit of time to build chemistry with the guys and figure out what makes them tick and how to I guess conversate or interact with them, how they like to do that, and the coaches to figure out their language, like the language that they use, how they like to interact with players too. But then after that it was fine. After that it was perfectly fine. I feel like I found my role in the team and I built a relationship with all the guys individually. So that was super cool.
Walk us through how you changed from playing in the UK and now playing in Germany. How different is the level between countries?
So I think the biggest thing, especially during my first year, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the game day. So in the UK, not many people come to our games. Maybe we have about 30 people, maybe 50, but you wouldn't never touch 100. So I think going from that, and then my first, it was like a friendly game actually at Dresden, and we had like 3,000, 4,000 people. That was like eye-opening to, oh wow, this is a big deal. So I think that's the biggest thing. In terms of actual play, I think the biggest thing for me, I think, is just the level of football. I think in the UK, we have amazing athletes. We have big, fast, strong guys. But I think what we're missing out on, especially what the Germans get, is a chance to play around imports, a chance to play around guys who have played in the NFL or guys who have played at top D1 colleges, a chance to get coached by former NFL coaches, former D1 coaches. And I think that just makes the game a bit more complex. That just makes your football IQ a little bit higher. And so the level of football is a way more advanced. So I think that's like the main difference between the UK and playing in the ELF. I think it's just the level of football, like the concepts that we ran this year were very complex. The plays that we ran, the play calling, like we really ran an NFL pro style offense, whereas I think in the UK it's way more simpler. The play calling is way more simpler. So I think for me, it's mainly that just the level of football, the football IQ that happens in the field.
Nice. How important was Coach Tomsula for you this season? Because at the beginning of the year, he spoke about the situation that you have off field, right? And he said everyone deserves to have a second opportunities. And Glenn is a young player who make a mistake but deserves a second opportunity. So how important was like the figure of Coach Tomsula for you and your development for this year?
It was great. I feel like everyone's scared of Tomsula, but I feel like we needed that, especially when you're 8-0 and you're 10-0 and then you're 12-0. I feel like that fear of him helped keep us in check. He's a really great guy, and we have really good conversations, and he'll check up on us and see how we're doing. But I feel like you really needed someone that had a presence, that made us afraid of him. So when he would speak, everyone's listening. When he would say something, everyone's listening. We took him very seriously. So I feel like in order to have the season that we had, it's not possible without someone like Tomsula. So he was definitely important of keeping us in check, keeping me in check, keeping all the other guys in check and just keeping us level. Because you know
Yeah.
it's easy to go 12-0 and all of us. And he would tell us all the time, you know, I bet everyone feels real good right now. Everyone's getting loads of love right now, but you know he's gonna be the guy to keep us in check. He's gonna be the guy to make sure that you know we're not big headed, that we're not getting carried away, and that you know we stay focused on what we're really trying to do. You know, he would tell us that you know, great, we have this record and that record, but no, that means nothing if you don't win.
Yeah.
He would tell us right now, those records don't mean nothing until after, you know, you've won the season, you've won the championship game. So he was super important in doing all of that.